Money's everything. Money dictates your life, money dictates your hobbies, money dictates where you live, the quality of food, your education. And when that happened to my family, my father ended up needing to find a place for us to then thrive. I had a very blessed childhood, and when I think of wealth, I was very wealthy growing up. My family's provided a very safe home, love, and even food and shelter. Like, those were the bases that they had to check mark to give us a very happy home, and I'm grateful that they provided that to us. That was a staple that I grew up with. And I saw my parents, though, struggle financially. Either it was through their actions, either it was through shopping, either it was conversations that they had with adults. I saw and heard these conversations that they had, and one of them being that my father lost his job. And when that happened, it changed our family. And how he lost his job was he was going through the structure of what Americans are given, the template of go to school, go find a job and stay there, get good benefits, and contribute money into your 401k. So he ended up doing that. It was a structure that truly helped people in the past generations, but that structure for the baby boomer generation, my parents, it has affected them long term. So my father's putting in money into this funds for his work, and then lo and behold, that same company ends up going into a complete liquidation, and they are laying off people. And so what does that do to a company? It affects their stocks. So here my father is blindly putting money into a 401k, thinking that his money is growing, but then his money is going into the company stocks. Company goes under. Now all of a sudden he has no retirement. And he's been putting this money away blindly, thinking that he's gonna have a retirement. My father had to go back to school, go get his master's, ended up finding a job, being a teacher, had odd jobs, was even contemplating going and working as a Domino's delivery person so that he can provide income into his family. We relied on the Navajo Nation, which provided government funding food for us, and even schooling clothes every year as children. I didn't mind. I loved it, enjoyed it, because the way my parents looked at money and wealth was very much the home, the family, that center. But I knew it was definitely impact for my family. During my high school years, my dad landed a job out in Arizona, and solely to get a higher income raise. So I left my hometown while being in high school, transitioned into a brand new high school, and that ended up changing my world. I had to learn how to adapt as my parents were trying to sustain us financially. I quickly learned as a young teenager adult, in order for me to do what I want to do, I have to make money. My first job was working at McDonald's, loved it. Also learned Spanish there, how to take my orders in Spanish. That was my first income coming in, and I remember my father seeing my first paycheck and saying, "Oh, I can make that in a couple of hours." I worked like 2 weeks trying to make that money. It was $97, a whopping $97. I was excited. And so I knew that when I exchanged my time for money, I was like, whoa, this is really exciting. Like I have control and in somewhat ways power to do what I want to do. The mindset of hustling for money was starting to become a fixation for me. I ended up getting my first credit card when I was 18 years old. I knew nothing about credit. Ended up getting massive credit card debt, didn't know what to do, how to make those credit card payments back, and then ended up finding myself repairing my credit by going and working at a bank. And so by working at a bank, I was able to learn how credit works, how to manage credit, how the banks utilize credit, and through that I fixed my credit score, and I was able to then transition what I feel like was my next phase of learning how money works. As I was going through my journey and learning how to build credit, then learning how to save, I then found myself figuring out, okay, what's the next step if I want to establish and build wealth? If I want to be the one to change the trajectory of my family line, I didn't understand how to build wealth. It was very much a confusing road for me. I didn't know which realm to go in when it came to my career. I ended up leaving the banking world for 9+ years because I thought I was done with the financial world and helping wealthy people get rich. What I realized was in the system that I wanted to change the system itself, because I was only able to help those that had a certain net worth. And so I left. And when I left, I found this brokerage that was amazing to me because it fit the template of being able to help those that didn't meet the net worth that I was trained to work with before. So now here I am taking a look at this new template, this new system that I can apply with the knowledge that I've learned, and now I can go back and help my people, help my family, help myself, and then help communities just grow and thrive, because that resources, those information is not given to them. And I want to be able to be that bridge. And so when I found my brokerage, it just made me super ecstatic to know that, whoa, I can literally do what I've been doing before and also help the people that I'm wanting to help in the communities to thrive the way that they can. And through this process, it was not easy. It requires a type of leadership. It requires a person to have some sort of thick skin, because you're talking to communities that have a mindset that they're so structured in a certain way of thinking when it comes to money. So when you're breaking someone's mindset when it comes to the way of money, you got to chisel that through. Sometimes they don't want to be helped, but as much as your passion and desire of wanting to assist them, you kind of have to embrace that big hug. It's like they don't want to be hugged, but you're like, but I absolutely love you. I want to give you this big hug because I know you're going to feel great. And so when I think about helping people in their finances, you know, the way that they view money, they have this view of saying, like, you know, I can't be the one to change the trajectory of my family line because I don't have that knowledge or skills. And that's where I come in to be able to assist them, give them that encouragement, give them those knowledge and tools to help them to be the one to change the trajectory of their family life. The one thing I love about my culture and being part of the Navajo Nation is the simplicity of my people. They are warriors, but they are also very much listeners. And when I think about applying the concept of compound interest and how that's leveraged even with my people, is by doing the little simple actions each day. And how they would go about their day is very simple. They would wake up, they would greet the sun, and they would welcome it, give their thanks, and then go on and find the abundance of their food. That was wealth. That's how they established wealth, was looking at how much food they gravitated, or how much livestock that they had, or how much was in their community. And so when I think about, as you're growing your wealth, you have to have people with you. You have to have a community with you. And you also have the literal sense of the needs to be met in order for you to then get your mind out of the scarcity mindset, so that you can then think about the things that you want to do for yourself, the dreams that you want to attain, the goals you want to achieve, the life that you're wanting to look for and to live. You know, those are all the ways in how we grow ourselves, but it has to be those segments of the compound interest of growing yourself, mindset, personal, financial, family, your fitness. Those all are stages of wealth. I believe regardless of your background, your race, and your age, you have the right to live a financially free life. I would love to help you to change the trajectory of your family line. Let's be the one, let's be the change, and let's be the solution.